Valbrun, Woman in Construction with Cert Restoration, and you are watching for Jaspo TV and listening to 980 AM. Today we have an amazing co-host and a special guest for you. Our title today is our number one wealth is our
Health.
Health. Okay. All right. I am your host, Sabrina Valbrun, and we have our amazing co-host here.
Good morning, everybody. It's Stewart, your business continuity expert, and you are listening to us this morning on WSVU 960 AM.
All right, and we're gonna go right into it. I like to have my hosts do their own bio. Who knows you more than yourself? All right, but our amazing host here is Gloria Giaquinto. Welcome to the Community Trailblazers Show. It's a pleasure having you, and we're gonna go right into you. Welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this show. My name is Gloria Giaquinto, and I have a health coaching business. It's called Inflammation Alleviation, and I basically run functional labs on my clients to get to the root of their symptoms. And that's something that is near and dear to my heart. Where this business came out of was birthed out of my own health journey. And I'm just going to go into that just so that everyone can know the passion that I have to help other people. Yeah. So I dealt with chronic pelvic pain for 2.5 years. Really before that started with cystic acne and skin conditions from when I was in my teenage years. And so after years and years of, going to dermatologists, getting creams, injections, antibiotics, I felt like there was something missing. I felt like I wasn't really getting to the root cause. So when I was 18 years old, I dived down the internet, and I realized that, what we eat is what we become and who we end up having to do with a lot of our issues, symptoms. And so I actually went gluten and dairy free at 18 years old. And instantly, at maybe 2-3 months later, my skin completely cleared up. I also did a liver detox at the same time, so I was juicing a lot and noticed a huge difference. And so that was the time where I basically did that for over a decade. So I felt great, my skin looked great, and then at 26, 27, I decided to go back to an Americanized standard diet, thinking that, I was okay. And so at that time, I was drinking, I was partying, I was staying up late amongst eating that diet, and so my body just crashed. And the acne came back worse than ever. And on top of that, I started developing pelvic pain and chronic infections, from UTIs to other different infections that just wouldn't go away. And so I went to every specialist, GI doctors, dermatologists. I went to pelvic therapist. I went to gynecologists. I went to urologists. And no one was really able to give me an answer as to why at 28 years old this was happening to my body. And they were just telling me that at 28 I should be used to my body not functioning the way that it should. And so that really upset me at the time because, I'm still young, but I was younger. And, I couldn't believe that they were telling me this. And so their answer was to give me pain medication, and that I would just have to be on those in order to live my life.
And that's only what suppressed it.
That was only suppressing it. And I was like, I don't want to be addicted to this. And then what kind of quality of life would I have? And so I went down again the rabbit hole. Again, I did my research. I fell into all these holistic areas, people I met down the line. And then I truly believe the Lord divinely ordained, me to meet certain people, for me to even go through this so that I could help others get through what, again, a lot of people are brushing under the rug as symptoms are normal. It's okay. Like, once you hit a certain age, your body shouldn't function normal. And that's not the case. And so I ended up finding what I'm certified in now, which is an FDN, which is Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. And so they teach you on how the body works as a whole, how every organ is connected, how one symptom may not seem like it's related to hormones, but indirectly it is. And so they teach you how to understand the body, how it functions, and they also bring in functional labs and how to interpret them and how to connect symptoms and the diagnosis and basically what you're seeing on the labs and being able to treat the body as a whole. And so the way I like to explain to everyone is that our body is like an iceberg. And so we see something really nice on top, but then there's a whole nother layer going on at the bottom, and no one ever sees that, and no one ever tries to get to the root of those symptoms. And that is what's going on in our bodies, you know. We live in a day where there's a pill for everything. There is a cream for everything. There's an injection for everything. And so what do when we have a headache? We go and take some Advil. And the issue is why are you getting that headache? There's a reason why you're getting that headache, but no one ever tries to dig a little deeper, and so they just take the pill and they move on with their lives. Well, one symptom piles onto the other symptom, and then it ends up becoming down the road either a more serious condition, diagnosis, whatever it is. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I do not diagnose, I do not treat anything specifically, but I help your body do what it's supposed to do, which is heal itself. That's how we were designed. That's how we were made. And so now we're to the point where no one is understanding that, and you're made to feel like you're wrong for asking the whys to the doctor, you're wrong for even asking questions, and you're wrong for even trying to get a second opinion, or maybe you feel like there's something deeper. And we shouldn't be in this situation where we can't even talk to our doctors. We don't get more than 5 minutes. And that is where someone like me comes in, where I design programs, 3 to 6 month programs where, you know, we're one-on-one, we're talking, we're getting through it together. I'm giving you things that you can implement daily, and we don't get that at the doctor. You can't get that at the doctor. So there needs to be a specialty. And again, if you're willing and wanting to learn how to be your own health advocate, that's where I come in and I help you do that, because we have to be our own health advocate in this day, because no one else is going to love your body or fight for your body more than you. And so that's something that I'm extremely passionate about. That's something that deep down I knew I had to do that. I didn't understand what I was doing at the time, but I fought for my health. I fought for my body. And because of that, thank God that I was able to overcome that. And I was able to overcome that by learning how to heal your body, by learning how to interpret functional labs and to use that as kind of a foundation of okay, this is where the imbalances are coming from. What can we do on a daily basis? The things I wasn't doing correctly, I was not eating properly, I was not sleeping properly, I was not moving my body the way I was supposed to. The stress that I was under at the time that I got sick was astronomical, and I didn't have any healthy ways on how to deal with that. And then also supplementation, but not just any supplements, not just whatever the next fad is, let me take this, but what is it showing on these labs that you need? And we're in a day and age also where there are specific supplements that your body is going to need, because the food, the way that it's made, it's processed so much that you're not going to get the nutritions, you're not going to get this the minerals that your body needs. So yes, there will be some that every person should take, but it's not something where you're just gonna go to the vitamin shop and just pick a bunch and then hope for the best. Like, you need guidance, especially if you're at a point where your symptoms are chronic. And so that's really where I come in, and where I know my business shines in.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yes. I guess, can you explain, because I know you says something about a lab, can you kind of go into more detail on what your company does? First, give us the name of your company, how you can be reached, and kind of go into detail. Walk us through the steps of what you do exactly.
Yes. So my business is Inflammation Alleviation. You can find me at withgloriag.com. You can reach me at 561-389-4017. You can find me on Facebook at Gloria Giaquinto, and the labs. So I use 5 foundational labs.
Okay.
One is a GI map to assess the gut, because a gut, if you don't have a healthy gut, everything else is not going to function properly.
I have to get rid of this gut.
Not that
gut. Yeah.
And then a food sensitivity test. So we are eating foods that our body may not be able to digest the way it used to, or just in general, and we've just been pushing through the symptoms again. And so the specific test that I use checks over 176 different chemicals, different food additives that we have on a daily basis, and you'd be surprised on what comes up as your body cannot handle it anymore. So that's one of the essential ones that I use. I use the metabolic typing test as well. And so that test basically shows you what type of food is going to be right for you. So I do very well on a high protein, low carb diet. I have energy from 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. But if I eat a lot of carbs, I get extremely fatigued and I crash. So this test will show you what your body, based on your culture, based on where you're from, because again, like there are different cultures, different areas in the world where some people, they have no meat, so they only eat fish. And guess what? They do very well on fish because that's what they've had for generations. And so just because you've moved to a different country doesn't mean your genetics have changed. So that's something that I use, and it's amazing. The next test that I use is a hormone test. And so that's going to really understand your liver, how your liver is filtering out hormones,
Nice.
Because our liver is filtering out every single thing, toxins, hormones. And so we want to make sure that your liver is not congested, it is not full of toxins, and if it is, then we need to assess that as well. And hormones, again, they're messengers. And so if they're not able to function properly, they're not able to give the message that your body needs in order to be active, especially for women. So this is very important. And even men, they need to know their hormones. And hormones doesn't mean sex hormones, it means all hormones. So your cortisol level, how your stress is doing. And so when we're in a chronic state of stress, our hormones, cortisol, ends up affecting our sex hormones. It ends up affecting our liver. It ends up affecting how we're doing on a daily basis. So this is something that I also use. I also use the mucosal barrier assessment, and this is going to assess how your basically the small intestines, the lining, how it is doing. Is there a tear in it? And so good and bad toxins are coming in and out. And so this is going to assess, okay, if this is the issue, how do we repair your mucosal barrier? And if we do, okay, what are the foods that we're not going to introduce again? Because every time we have those foods that our body thinks as an enemy, it's going to create basically inflammation. And so that's why most of us have some type of inflammation in our body, which is why my business is called Inflammation Alleviation, because you'd be surprised on how much people, even if it's not significant, a lot of us are dealing with inflammation, even in some way or another. So those are just like the basic tests that I use for foundational labs. And again, depending on their symptoms, I may assess and say, okay, we need something else. We need a tox test in order to see what molds, heavy metals are going on your body. But again, that won't come until after I do an assessment and we figure out what's going on. But those are basically the foundational labs that I suggest on all of my clients, because those are the essential to see where the imbalances are coming throughout the entire body.
Nice.
Fantastic,
Fantastic.
Amazing. And I love that you bring up stress, because stress will do so much harm to your body.
Yes.
Especially for men. Guys, if you want to look big and strong and your catabolic hormones, or if I say things like that, they go, the hormones that break down body tissue.
Yep.
So if you've got high levels of cortisol in your body, you will not be able to get in the gym and make good gains, simply because your body is fighting against all that hard work that you're doing. So again, hormones and even things like stress are amazingly important for human beings. Now, you mentioned something early on. I want to touch on that really quickly. You mentioned early on, even as a teenager, you went down the internet rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people go down the internet rabbit hole and they never come back. It's, you know, it's like bleach can cure COVID and things like that. So how did you end up finding yourself at an evidence-based medicine practice or evidence-based health practitioner after having gone down that internet
Especially at a very young age.
Yes.
And not be dogmatic and all kinds of the kooky ideas that we find on the internet at a young, impressionable age.
You know what? Like, you're so right about that, because the internet can be used for good or evil. And it's a very slippery slope. And it's actually something I don't recommend my clients to do, because then they come back with so much fear, so much anxiety, and they're like, but I read this and I heard you can rub dirt on your face and your acne will go away. And like, you wouldn't believe the things that I've actually dived in. And so I'm like, there's no way that's accurate. But I'm gonna go back to, like, I give the glory to God that he like put me on the right path, because I honestly don't know how at 18 years old I just wanted answers. And so again, like, I felt like, okay, I've never changed my diet. This specific person, and I can't even remember who it was anymore, says that if you change your diet, if you do a juice cleanse, which again, I didn't know at the time, it was actually a liver detox that I was doing. And at that age, I didn't know anything. So I juiced, I drank, and guess what? It happened. But yeah, I honestly just want to thank God for that, because I don't have an answer other than, like, I just had discernment and knew that this is the way that the Lord was telling me that I should try and go.
Awesome.
Nice,
So it sounds like you learned something, you took action, you saw the benefits and said, let me look at this some more. That's, I think, important for people to understand. Don't just be a collector of information.
Exactly.
Implement. If you're trying to improve your health, do something, right?
Again, actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
And small testimony on my part, when I was pregnant with my first, I had fibroids. And my first did not breach because they say I didn't have enough space in there for her to even turn around. And my doctor mentioned something to me saying that if I didn't have operation after I had my first, then I won't be able to have a second child. I'm like, I don't want to have no the surgery or anything like that. And to make a long story short, I went, I had my first at 30, like on my own, did some research.
Wow.
I went, like, I changed, like, my dieting where I stopped eating red meat, no beef, no, you know what, pork. I was pretty much eating mostly seafood.
Yeah, wow, okay.
And I juice at least 4 times per week. So I will wake up and make me a nice green smoothie.
Yeah.
Then I have something for lunch, and bedtime I would have another smoothie. So pretty much I was having like 1 meal and 2 smoothies per day. And I went back to the doctor, and she like, what happened? So I shrunk them on my own just by changing what I was eating.
What a testimony.
Make a long story short, I did not have to remove them or anything, and I used to have crazy pain, and I got pregnant, with my second child. So I am a very strong believer in natural, holistic. I know you're not a doctor. Disclaimer: she is not a doctor.
Gotta put that out there.
All right, so make sure we are on the safe side. So what is your intake versus going the holistic way versus taking vitamins? Do you combine them? When you get these results from the lab, are you working maybe with physician to cater? Because when it comes to this, there's no one fit all menu. So, what is your approach once you get this lab result? How do you cater it to, let's just say, if it was Steve or myself, or if I say, well, my doctor feel like, hey, I have high blood pressure or a diabetic. What is your angle? How do you?
Yes. So I am a firm believer that I work with your provider.
Okay.
So I always say, I'm going to give you a protocol.
Okay.
Your job now is to go and take your protocol to your doctor.
Okay.
And if you're a diabetic, if you're on high blood pressure medication, you need to make sure that your doctor is going to be like, okay, this is fine. And what I usually do is, if they're on medication, they give me a list of all their medication, and I put it through a system to make sure it's not contraindication to any of the supplements that I'm giving them. So I'm doing my part, but I'm always going to say, please take this to your doctor and make sure that this is okay, that everything seems well, and if that's the case, then we move forward. But what I'm usually doing, and again, I'm not diagnosing anything, I'm not treating anything different, but there can be a point where your body's great and you get retested with your doctor with labs that were high before, and now they're not high anymore. And so then that's a decision for you and your doctor to make at the time with anything that you're on. But again, when you're able to really treat the body from the inside, you do notice a difference. Your energy level is at a higher level. You don't have brain fog. Like all of your body is just functioning the way that they're supposed to. And yes, I do use supplements with the protocol, and like I said before, there are supplements that every person's gonna need, because not everyone is going to be eating a high amount of fish, and if they are, it's probably not processed the way that you're gonna get all the omega-3s that you need. And so there will be some that I'm like, every person should have this and this, but besides that, yes, it's gonna be based on what your labs are saying, how you're feeling, what your symptoms are, and really like what conditions you have, because again, I'm not here to mess with any medications because I'm not a doctor, but there will be supplements that can support you on your journey with that as well.
Nice. And my next question to you is, I know you went on your journey at 18 years old. This lab, what is the youngest, I would say, your patient, what is the youngest age would you recommend this lab, and what's the oldest patient would you recommend this lab for?
You mean my foundational labs?
Yes.
So I probably would recommend these labs to, if the youngest, probably 18, because hormone testing, you're not developed yet in your hormones. So there is the pick and choose for children. If they're dealing with a lot of gut issues, I would 100% recommend the GI map that assesses the gut at like 4 years old. And then the food sensitivity test as well at like 4 years old, because those are tests that you're gonna be able to see something. All the other tests, like, you're gonna want to wait until like they start to develop. And the oldest, you can be 99 years old, and if you want to get your body better, you can. But that's on the patient and the client and what they want to do.
Okay. Because the reason why I ask is we know a lot of teenagers go through with the acne, and you go through, I guess, puberty. I guess what? 14, 15, and they get a lot of, acne and the pimples. So if we have like a teenager that's going through that, that's something that you can definitely recommend, even though they're not 18.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, because you can still do a gut test and you can still do a food sensitivity test on those kids.
Nice.
Yes.
Excellent. So now let me ask you, what would you say, or what would you counsel to somebody that, they got your protocol, they bring it to their doctor, and their doctor is like, no, you can't do any of this, you don't want to. What would you then say to somebody who is a potential client of yours in that kind of case? If you get pushback from the medical establishment, because we know as anything outside of their purview, they love to push back on it.
Right.
And it's not just about egos, although it is about egos.
Most of it is about egos.
It's also, they are highly educated professionals.
Correct. That's a hard one, because again, everyone has to make a decision, and it's something that you have to be passionate about. You have to, again, want to fight for your health. So it's something that I feel like you can get a second opinion. You can find a doctor who's going to actually like want to be on this journey with you and want to actually have other methods, holistic methods, in order to heal your body. So you're not stuck with one provider. And so a lot of people end up thinking, oh, well, my doctor said no. Well, you have every right to get a second opinion, a third opinion, and you find out what's going to fit your needs. But again, if you're not going to live a better life, a cleaner life, change a lot of things in your life, then maybe you should do what the doctor's telling you to do if you're not willing to do that extra step.
Change. A lot of people are not open to change.
Everyone wants to, oh yeah, that sounds great, holistic methods, but you're not doing anything different. And so you can't not do what the doctor's telling you.
But they just thought it was a different pill than the doctor was giving. So that's why they're like, yeah, I'm all for holistic. Oh, wait, I got a juice? Man, I got to clean this thing?
I got to cook?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing also is that people kind of substitute medication for supplements. And that's not going to work either. Because you can't just supplement your way out of something.
No.
And so they're there to support you and to give you a foundation so that you can actually get to a point where your energy's at a point where you don't even need some of them at that point. But again, that's something I teach clients on how to become their own health advocate. If they're willing to learn, if they want it, and they're passionate about it, I am your person. I am going to help you get there. But if you're not going to do that, then you need to, stick with
the status quo.
Yeah.
And can you give us maybe just a general, like around, for people that's watching and listening, of course, I want you to give them your information again, but if they're around, how much would you say that those lab will cost someone if they are interested? I know it's not one fit all based on what they want. So I know you mentioned about 4 different labs.
Yeah.
Can you kind of go over?
Yes. So the labs in general, about 4 of them would be like $1,200, and again, a lot of insurance don't cover it, so it would be out of pocket.
That was
Yep. That is the main question that I get. Again, we can always start with 1, 2 if that budget is not there for you, and then my fee is a different fee, and it's going to be different for everyone. Okay. So they would just contact me and we would just have a discussion. But it is something that if you're interested in, definitely get on a phone call and we can try and see if there's a different fit for you, a different package. And again, you can find me at withgloriag.com. Phone number is 561-389-4017. And you can also find me on Facebook, Gloria Giaquinto.
Nice.
Awesome.
You
know what? I think my biggest question has been all along, give us some success stories. Talk to us about the people you've been able to help.
Yes.
We've heard about how you took control of your own life.
Yes.
But what have you been able to do for other people?
Yeah.
What kind of results
are you
possible?
looking for a guinea pig?
Because everybody is different and unique,
right.
but everybody's journey looks different. But what are some of the success stories that you've had? We'd love to hear some of those.
Yes. I mean, there are so many, and again, like, I think mine is my biggest success story. But there was a specific client. It was actually a couple. They were an older couple, and they were just, tired of going through the same route of like being told medications and not really giving a why and like something else to do. So I really took them on the journey of like changing their diet, changing how their stress level, basically incorporating supplements when I was able to assess the labs that I got from them. And so I was just, again, they were like over 60, so their energy wasn't where obviously it used to be. And so they were able to tell me, like, after being on like 2 to 3 months, that they were just able to see a huge difference and in their energy level, and like they were able to actually like understand why certain foods weren't good for them, and were able to actually learn how to be their own health advocate when they went out to eat, and learning that certain foods weren't really great for them. So just in that little testimony is just showing that, the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You definitely, if you're hungry and you want it, there is an opportunity for anyone at any age to really make a difference in their health.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
what is your main focus when it comes to your business? Mental health, physical, spiritual, weight loss.
Yeah, so I focus a lot on gut health. That's very crucial, especially in today when we're eating a lot of foods that, that's causing inflammation in our body. I deal a lot with people who have skin conditions, so a lot of acne, cystic acne, seen a lot of great changes in that. So those are the two main things amongst people dealing with inflammatory issues as well. Those are kind of like my go-to and what I specialty in.
You ever have your client watch We Are What We Eat? You ever watch that segment?
I have.
What do you think of that?
Oh man, that traumatized me when I watched it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Have you watched that?
No,
I think
but I've heard of it.
Available
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Okay.
Believe me, it's a great story.
Yeah.
I had my kids, they runners. I had them watch that, like, freaks them out, like.
Yeah, it will freak you out. I don't like to traumatize my clients right in the beginning because.
I think that's a great start.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Because people, I guess actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And I think that will kind of show you if they are serious and they ready to take the next step.
Yeah.
That was a very, very good documentary. Again, Gloria, it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me on. I want to thank Jasper TV, and I want to thank 980 AM for bringing me on. It's been so fun.
Oh my God, it was nice. I learned a whole lot.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna give you a call because I want to learn a little bit more into detail. Thank you for being on For Jasper TV, and you guys are listening to 980 AM. Again, my name is Sabrina Valbrun, woman in construction, and you are watching the Community Trailblazers Show every Monday. We are here, and my amazing co-host,
Stewart, commercial and really business continuity expert. And don't forget, you can also hear us on WSVN 900 AM.
Yes, thank you. It was a pleasure. Happy blessed Monday. See you guys next week. We have another great guest coming for you, coming to the show next week, Monday. So make sure you tune in. Again, Sabrina with the Community Trailblazers Show. Our beautiful guest.
Gloria Giaquinto with Inflammation Alleviation.
And how can we find you one more time?
You can find me at withgloriag.com, phone number 561-38947, and on Facebook, Gloria Giaquinto.
Nice.
Awesome. Again, I'm Steve, and you can get a hold of me in the office at 954-450-8355.
Yes, and you can find me on all social media platforms. Same name, Cert Restoration, or just type Sabrina Valbrun. Again, thank you so much for watching and listening. See you guys next week, and have a blessed Monday.